what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to another Call of Duty Warzone video where today I'm going to be giving you the ultimate sniping guide in Warzone. This video is going to help make you a better sniper by making sure that you've got the best sniper loadouts along with tips and tricks to improve your sniping ability, as well as a few secrets that you may not know that will help you out. Sniping is without doubt one of the most powerful things in Warzone to help you win games. Whether it's getting that first pick on an enemy squad before you and your team push them, or taking down an enemy from a rooftop that has you pinned. It's also one of the most satisfying things in the game, especially if you manage to do things like sniping someone out of a moving chopper. Also, 88.7% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel, so subscribe and you'll instantly become a better sniper, I promise. So first things first, before we even get into sniping, you're going to want to make sure that you've got the best sniper loadouts possible. It's scary to say, but preparation is one of the most important things when it comes to doing well in Warzone, and your loadout is a key component. I personally feel like there are two snipers that you can use in Warzone. The first is the HDR, because it's probably the best traditional sniper rifle. It's got almost no bullet drop, it's got fast bullet travel time, which makes it a lot easier to hit moving targets. Then the other sniper may surprise you, but it's the Kar98K, which I've had a lot of fun using more recently, though it's definitely used in a more aggressive playstyle for a sniper. Another important thing with any sniper class is you always want to pair it with another primary weapon, like an SMG or assault rifle. I'd personally recommend either the Grau or the MP7, as the MP7 is still pretty decent at medium range, though personally I use the Grau 5.56. So first, let's take a look at the HDR loadout that you're going to want to have. This HDR build is built around fast aim down sight time and bullet velocity. You'll want the monolithic suppressor, which will keep your shot suppressed and also increase your HDR's damage range. Then I use the 26.9 HDR Pro barrel to get maximum damage range and bullet velocity. The next important attachment is the tac laser. This will allow you to have much faster aim down sight speed, which is going to help you with quickly snapping onto your targets, which is even more important during sniper fights when you're peeking in and out of cover and need to get your shots off quickly. I then use the F-Tac Stalker Scout stock, which increases aim down sight speed, before finally finishing off with the focus perk, which allows you to keep control of your aim whilst under gunfire, which in long range engagements makes all the difference in Warzone, trust me. Then in your class loadout, one of the important perks that you need to make sure that you have is amped, because when you either break someone's armor or have enemies pushing you, you want to be able to quickly switch to your assault rifle or SMG, which are far more effective at close range. There's no point trying to quick scope opponents. Occasionally, yes, you'll pull it off, but overall, you're going to end up winning more gunfights by using that assault rifle or SMG at those close ranges. And just use your sniper rifle for getting those kills at medium to long range on an enemy squad, but that's the HDR setup that I'd recommend using. Then for my next suggested sniper loadout is one that's a lot more interesting, as it's definitely not used anywhere near as much, but it's actually pretty damn incredible if you want to be a bit more aggressive, just because it's got a faster ADS speed and ability to still one-shot kill fully armored opponents, even though it's not officially listed as a sniper, and that's the Kar98. Now, on the Kar98, I use the monolithic suppressor to maximize my gun's range and have suppressed shots. I then use the SingGuard custom 25.1 barrel, the tac laser, then the variable zoom scope, along with the ST-Vol precision comb stock. This is the build that I use for the Kar98 in Warzone, with the variable scope allowing me to land shots comfortably at medium range, as well as those long range sniper engagements. It's just an absolute beast. Now, one of my biggest tips when it comes to sniping in Call of Duty Warzone is you want to be making sure that you're using it in the right situations. It's not like in multiplayer when you can really get away with just using a sniper in almost all situations, because if you don't land a headshot in Warzone at close range, you're most likely not going to get a second shot off. So what I tend to do is use it as an opener. When I see an enemy squad, I'll take my first shot with the sniper rifle to try and get that important first down. Because if you knock an enemy down with a sniper, there's a couple of things that can happen. Firstly, the enemy squad is going to try and revive their teammate. This allows you and your squad to get up close to the enemy and get a more powerful position where you'll have numbers as well as a health advantage, even if they get off the res. Secondly, if you take down the enemy in the open, you may even be able to get a free, easy finish, which is going to put you and your squad in such a strong position. Opening any fight with a sniper is a low risk, high reward, thanks to the amped perk where you can whip out your assault rifle or SMG almost instantly and be ready for those close range fights. And that's also why my next tip, even though I've mentioned it already, is make sure you've always got a good all-round automatic weapon as your secondary. It's why I always tend to have the Grau 5.56 paired with my sniper, as it's a high fire rate assault rifle that is actually pretty solid at close range as well. So I never get caught out and I'm in a situation where I cannot properly help out my team in a firefight. It's important to see the sniper as a situational weapon. It's either to take down enemies at a distance or to help you get that first down on an enemy squad from a distance, allowing you to push up and put pressure on an opposing squad. It should never be the only weapon you're using if you want to do consistently well. One thing to be hugely aware of with your sniper is the scope glint that you give off every time you aim down sights. It makes you very easy to spot from enemy squads, especially in wide open areas. Because of that, you never want to be constantly scoping. I try to do it in 1 or 2 second bursts if I'm trying to scan an area for an enemy. Also, when I'm in a fight, I'll identify my target, get my shot off, and scope back out as quickly as I can. So if another player is trying to easily spot where I am, I'm not blowing my position with that sniper glint as easily. On the other hand, a lot of snipers don't do this, and you can take advantage of it for some easy kills. Just quickly snap on and aim slightly above that glint for some easy headshots. Also, one counter for scope glint as well, though you'll find it harder to pull off long range shots, is to use a 3.25 times regular or thermal scope. You still get one-shot headshot kills, but the scope doesn't give off the glint effect. I found this works best with a thermal, as you can still easily spot enemies at a distance that aren't using cold-blooded. It works a treat. My next tip for becoming a better sniper in Call of Duty Warzone is to make sure that you hold your breath correctly. Now, what I mean by this is that you want to be holding your breath the moment before you take your shot, just to steady it and make sure it goes exactly where you want it to. Too many players start holding breath and start tracking their opponent. They then run out of breath and can't land the shot, and then probably just get popped off by another sniper that's seen your scope glint as you've been scoped in for so long. So just hold it as close to the moment you want to fire as you possibly can, and you'll see an instant improvement in your sniping. Now, one of the reasons that everyone loves using the HDR in Call of Duty Warzone is because it's probably the easiest sniper to use in any battle royale ever. It's pretty much hit scan and has a stupidly high bullet velocity, so you can easily land headshots on moving targets at a distance. What makes it even better is there's virtually no bullet drop at the distances that you're going to want to be using the HDR at. So what I advise to do is always to aim for the top of a player's head, and even if there is a little bit of a bullet drop, it'll still land the headshot with a HDR. Most other snipers, like the AX50 for example, you still have to use the information on your scope to land headshots for different ranges, which definitely makes sniping a lot more difficult. So the HDR is effectively an in-game cheat code. Now, the Kar98 is definitely the sniper you want to be using if you're a little bit more of an aggressive player, if you want to be rushing at opponents, and because of that amazingly quick ADS time, you can get your shots off pretty fast with the Kar98, which makes it the perfect sniper for that run and gun gameplay to help you get that first down, which is going to put you and your squad in a strong position. It's also always worth having at least one sniper in a squad because they can be very helpful in getting you out of a tricky situation if you're being pinned down by an enemy squad on a rooftop, and the Kar98 is the perfect gun for those kind of situations. So if you're going for high kill games and don't want to run the assault rifle SMG combo that most players use, make sure you use the Kar98 for that aggressive sniper gameplay over the HDR. My next tip to help make you a better sniper in Call of Duty Warzone is the way that you use cover to get an advantage. There are so many places in Warzone that you can use to your advantage to beat enemy teams. Rocks, for example, usually have great places to shoot from, where you're minimizing the amount of your body on show, but can quickly get those shots off to down enemy players. Though, whenever you're using cover and enemy players have spotted you, make sure to alternate where you pop out of it. You never really want to take consecutive shots from the exact same location, as it's giving enemy players the opportunity to hardscope you to take you down the moment you peek or focus on that position. So if you're firing from a rock, maybe alternate between the left, then the right, or over the top, depending on the position of the rock. Also, if you're at a crest of a hill or a wall, maybe pop over at different places so that the enemy players have to change where they're ADSing. So if you're sniping quickly, it gives you the upper hand. But one of the most important pieces of advice I can give any sniper in Warzone is target priority. Every single shot you take, you need to be making a decision on which player is potentially the most dangerous to you and your squad. Is an enemy pushing up close and rushing one of your teammates, or is there a sniper in a strong position? Whoever is the biggest threat is the player you, as your team sniper, needs to take down. Now, a lot of this comes from practice, but it's a skill that will improve your gameplay even when not using a sniper tenfold. Another huge tip that's going to make you and your team better is ping your opponents. Whenever you see targets at a distance, quickly just drop a ping, which will give you a live marker of when that opponent is moving, not just for yourself, but your entire team. You're going to find it much easier to snipe them. This is something I really want every player to start doing more and more, because it really does give you an upper hand compared to a team not taking advantage of the game's ping system. Next is another tip that I almost consider a cheat. Now, you'll have probably found yourself in a lot of sniper fights at a distance in Warzone, especially within downtown, where you're on a rooftop in a sniper fight and then you get knocked down, you then get revived, use your plates, and then get headshotted and downed again, wasting those 3 plates. Well, one thing to do if you know you're in a strong position with complete wall cover, and I mean complete wall cover, is if you get knocked down by another player at a long distance, don't use your plates. Just pop back up and go for another shot against them, because it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, you can always get revived again by your teammate. Most players always replay, but in a long distance sniper fight, sometimes it's not worth it and you need to keep hold of your resources. Then my final tip to get better at sniping in Warzone is practice. If you don't have access to multiplayer, try playing Plunder for a while and just get used to using the sniper at different distances. Also, Ground War in multiplayer is another great place, because you're going to get into a lot more long-range gunfights compared to the Battle Royale more frequently, so you can really practice landing your shots consistently. But there we have it, my 14 top tips to get better at sniping in Call of Duty Warzone. Please do share any of your own tips down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new and smash that like button. And I'll see you next time.